Good morning, Walden High. I'm Noah Klein. Please rise and remove your hats for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now let's get into some news. According to the Denver Post, Congress has sent President Donald Trump legislation that would kill an online privacy regulation. A move that could eventually allow internet providers such as Comcast, AT&T, and Verizon to sell browsing habits to their customers. Ajit Pai, the FCC's new Republican chairman, called the legislation that passed the House today appropriate and blamed his predecessor for the executive overreach. In other news, according to the New York Times, President Trump, flanked by company executives and miners, signed a long-promised executive order on Tuesday to nullify President Barack Obama's climate change efforts and revive the coal industry, effectively ceding American leadership in the international campaign to curb the dangerous heating of the planet. Also, according to the BBC, Theresa May, the Prime Minister of the UK, has signed a letter that will formally begin the UK's departure from European Union. The official notice for the letter is called Article 50 and will be delivered to the European Council's President Donald Tusk soon. The proposal Brexit plan slates that the UK to leave the European Union by March 2019, with or without an agreement. As you all know, the Colorado Department of Transportation has closed US 34, making our trip to Estes Park much longer. However, they released 2 days ago that a reduction was proposed and confirmed, altering the timeline by more than a year. Permitted repairs to the US 34 to begin in Big Thompson Canyon. Repairs will begin July 2016, followed by the full road closure over a mile long. This reduction should be complete before Memorial Day. The US 34 will be open and usable over the summer season, the hiking season. So a huge thanks to the Colorado Department of Transportation. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the winner of the Spring Break Challenge.
Showtime. The picture was taken at a adventure park in Playa del Carmen in Mexico. It's called Zelha, and it's an adventure park that is also extremely environmentally friendly. So they have manatees that they keep there and they train and they take care of. So that's what we did an experience where you just swam with the manatees, and it was super fun.
The picture was taken in Golden, Colorado.
This picture was taken on a run on the backside bowl of Steamboat.
That day we went snorkeling. They had a cove and it was a lagoon. So you went snorkeling, you got to see all the fish around there. And they also had a river thing where you went tubing down the river, and you could they had little cliff jumps that you could go down. Also with the manatee encounter, which was super cool. It was a really fun day. We just walked around and got to experience the really cool nature that Mexico had to offer.
That day I was skateboarding with my friends at a new skate park, and I noticed that the sunset was looking nice, so I took a picture.
Believe it or not, that day when I took this picture, I was skiing.
We are here tonight for the most awaited event, I'd say, for this semester. Tonight we are going to reveal who the winner of the Spring Break 2017 Best Picture was. So we'll get to the nominees right now. Nominee number 1, Donovan Knapp. Claire Haney. Addie Woodward. And without further ado, the award goes to Claire Haney.
Well, one moment. Actually, I have been just told by my producer that she did not win.
Where's the real winner then?
I don't have.
Wait, what the heck is?
What is that?
This was in my back pocket.
Why do you have this?
It was just back there, I don't know.
My apologies. The winner goes to Addie. You get $15 gift card to Starbucks. And I just got fired from my job.
I'm sorry about that. This was not a joke. Addie is in fact the winner. So congratulations, Addie. Now let's check out how teachers did back in high school.
In high school, I wasn't the ideal student. It's funny that I teach honors level classes because I certainly wasn't that. I had rules in high school. 1, never take a book home. 2, don't do homework. But 3, never get below a C. And I think I only did that one time. And actually it was in world history class that I got a D. But
I was a above average student. I was a B master, I guess you would say. I wasn't at the top end of the spectrum. I generally wanted to do well enough and was motivated to do well enough because of my colleagues. What I did in high school is I got through the system as best as I could with as little work as I could.
Over how serious were you in high school is really about how serious you are in college too. You had asked me when we were talking before about me in my first semester in college, and although I graduated with a 3.9 something GPA in high school, and my first semester was a 1.8 GPA in college, not because I got stupider or not because the high school didn't train me over or whatever. It was just a matter of I got a 1.8 GPA because when I started playing pool, and I liked pool, and I got really good at playing pool, and I just stopped going to classes. But when I got put on academic probation in that semester, I knew that I needed to pull out of that and get back into good standing academically.
I think success is something that you have to want. Like my goal in high school was not to be successful in high school. I didn't fit there. I didn't belong there. I was very conforming, and thinking about it, like I was just thinking, like I don't really even connect with my friends from high school. A couple of them, like I have like maybe 1 or 2, but as far as like correlating to success in real life, I just feel like it's something you want to do. Success is something that this is a goal you want to achieve. So for me, like high school, I didn't really want that. I just wanted to graduate and move on and move away. And that's the thing, like my counselor would ask, what do you want to do? I want to travel. I want to get out of this town. I want to travel.
There's nothing impressive about a good idea. The only impressive thing is an idea that's executed and comes to fruition. So I would say the most important thing is the ability to go that last bit, because it's the hardest, the climbing a mountain analogy or whatever you want to do. The last year of college, my last semester of college, my last semester of high school, every challenge, the last part of that challenge is the hardest part, and it's what separates, I think it's what separates people who are successful and who aren't. If you want to be a musician and be an artist, like, are you willing to put in the work and grind it out or not? Like,
I think you should get your high school diploma regardless, because if you don't have that, you've just shut a ton of doors. So if your first couple of years have been rough, you got to finish, just do what you can. We change, and high school alone does not define you. It's like, I mean, I don't know what our lifespans are going to be, but it's like, this is a tiny thing. And I even tell this to my students too, that if you don't like high school, that's okay, because when you become an adult, you get to make the decisions and choices that you want. And that's how I've lived. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a pretty happy person. I'm a happy person because I do what I want, and I do, and I do what I believe. So yeah. So yeah, you got to get that diploma. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You may not get the 4.0. You got to get the diploma though. Yeah.
Well, I think you should wait. We're in a society. American society teaches us act and act now. You must be decisive. And at some level, again, I don't think it's that binary. It's not that this or that. There are a lot of people who probably aren't ready to go to college when they're 18 years old. I wasn't. I know I wasn't, but I went anyways. Was my freshman year a bit of a waste of money and time? A bit. Now, I didn't fail out. For the people who fail out because they're not ready for it, that's a huge waste. As a result, when you kind of get into this situation, I would say that you probably, if you don't feel like you're absolutely ready to commit to a 4-year university, and wait until you're comfortable, ready to go. Now, are your parents going to want to hear that? Probably not, because a lot of parents are going to be saying, what are you going to do now? What's your future? I mean, when you really start to look into that whole question of what are you going to do with your future and what are your dreams, when you ask that of a person who's 18 years old, it's a loaded question. I know I had no idea what I wanted.
Definitely. So if you're not wanting to go to college, parents who have been pushing you to go to college and had that expectation would probably be more receptive to you approaching them with a plan, right? So you as a student came to them and you had a plan, right? I had this, my interest is here. My goal is to do this. I have already set up an internship with this company to help move me along. I've talked to the boss and he says I don't need a degree in order to achieve a goal of climbing up that success ladder. So, it is very, very, very common that students don't go to college, and that's fine. You don't have to go to college to be successful. Some of the most successful friends that I have just got out of high school and went right to a profession that they were really good at and they really enjoyed, and now they're doing great, Me, I spent 9 years in college getting my bachelor's and master's, and here I am. I'm very low on the economic pay scale, right? So, I mean, it's you don't have to go to college to be successful. You just have to have the mindset that hard work and common sense promote that.
My personal experience, had I gone to college right after high school, I surely would have flunked. I just was not mentally prepared for that. And so if you're having doubts about that, like one thing they kept telling me, the adults, if you don't go to college now, you'll never go. And I disagree. I think there's something to be said about experiencing life and skinning your knees and, having I had a really crappy job. That's what got me back to going to school.
Well, after watching that, I feel a little bit smarter about myself. A meeting and introduction for Sign Language Club will be held in room C78 and will continue for the next 4 weeks every Tuesday. In other national news, the Senate will be likely to vote on the confirmation of Neil Gorsuch by April 10th or as early as April 3rd. After having sold hearings, it is likely that Gorsuch will be confirmed. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's announcements. I'm Noah Klein, and thanks for staying with me as I butchered this entire thing.